influence of Asia, words that originate in Singapore and Hong Kong have been added to the Oxford English Dictionary. It challenges the perception that so-called correct English comes from the UK or America. So let's take a look at a few of the new words. Now, are you a member of a Ganshi? This is a system of social networks in Hong Kong which facilitate business links. Or have you paid the shroff? That is a cashier, especially at a car park. And if you are light-skinned in Singapore, you may be called Ang Mo. Well, Dr. Danica Salazar from the Oxford English Dictionary told me how significant this move was.
I think that the addition of these new words is very important, first for the dictionary and also for these varieties of English, for Singapore and Hong Kong English, because it shows that these varieties and the words that they contribute to the English language are as worthy of serious linguistic scholarship, the one that we apply to all the words that we include in the Oxford English Dictionary as words that come from British and American English.
So we're talking about words that are used, tend to be used in Singapore, in Hong Kong, things like the Hawker Centre in Singapore or char siu in Hong Kong. These are now in the Oxford English Dictionary because they are within the English language.
Yes, they are certainly part of the English language. And as you know, the Oxford English Dictionary is the world's foremost historical dictionary, meaning it's not just a dictionary, a book with definitions, but one that shows the whole history of the English language. And since Hong Kong and Singapore for many decades have been part of the development of the English language, we find that it's important to also include the words that Singaporean and Hong Kong speakers of the English language use in these countries.
Now, I know that you've spoken about wanting to get rid of this idea that only English spoken in, say, the UK or in the States is correct. How do you do that then?
Yes, I think that since the OED is such a respected lexical resource, I think that just the fact that we're adding them and we're giving all this attention to these words kind of shows the people who speak English in places like Hong Kong and Singapore that they don't really need to speak like Americans or like British people in order for their language to be considered as correct. I mean, whatever, these words have become part of English because it shows something of the culture of these places. These are words that are needed to be expressed using these new words. And I think that something that is very legitimate. It's something that's happening not only in Hong Kong and Singapore, but in other places where English is spoken, such as, let's say, India or the Philippines. So this is a trend that has been going on in many parts of the world, especially since English is such a global language. Well, so it's something that should be celebrated rather than decried.
Well, I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Doesn't this highlight the dominance of English, the fact that other languages are maybe lacking somewhat or being lost a little bit?
Well, not exactly lacking, because if you look at many of the Hong Kong and Singapore editions that we have are actually borrowings from the local languages. So what are we showing here is that English is thriving in these places, but at the same time it's existing alongside other languages, such as, let's say, Cantonese in Hong Kong or Malay in Singapore. So I think it's a kind of an illustration of the language contact that's becoming more and more common in this increasingly globalized world.